twin flames represent a completely different type of relationship than any other. It's not a relationship in the traditional sense at all. Unfortunately, many people treat a twin flame relationship as a normal relationship, which it will never be. In my opinion, this is a fundamental mistake that leads to suffering. Only the twin flame opens our eyes to different things and allows us to see what is true and what is not. Through this process, we discover that it is not solely romantic love as depicted in popular movies. The journey of recognizing a twin flame is akin to peeling back the layers of an onion. At first, everything seems hazy, blurred by preconceived notions of love and companionship shaped by society. We often arrive at this connection with a romanticized view, expecting it to mirror the fairy tales and movies that dominate our cultural narrative. However, the truth is starkly different. This is not merely about finding a partner who completes us. It's about awakening to a deeper, often uncomfortable reality. When we encounter our twin flame, we are thrust into a crucible of intense emotions and reflections. They hold a mirror up to us, forcing us to confront our innermost fears, insecurities, and unresolved issues. This reflection is not always pleasant. It can be jarring. The qualities we admire in our twin can also be the very traits we despise in ourselves. This duality is what makes the twin flame experience so transformative. It pushes us to look beyond the surface and delve into the core of our being. As we embark on this journey, the layers of illusion begin to dissipate. We start to recognize that the love we seek is not just about shared experiences or physical attraction. It is about the profound connection that transcends the superficial. It is a bond that encourages growth and healing, nudging us toward acceptance of our true selves. The more we resist this truth, the more painful our journey becomes. Suffering is often a byproduct of denial, a reluctance to acknowledge that this connection is meant to challenge and enlighten us. Opening our eyes also means understanding that this relationship is not solely about union. It often involves separation. These periods apart serve as critical times for self-discovery and personal growth. They teach us that love is not about possession or dependency, but about nurturing our individuality while remaining connected at a soul level. Each separation is an opportunity to heal, reflect, and realign with our authentic selves. In this phase of awakening, we may also become aware of the energetic ties that bind us. The twin flame connection is not confined to the physical realm. It resonates on a spiritual frequency that can be felt even in distance. This realization deepens our understanding of love, revealing it as an energetic exchange that transcends time and space. Ultimately, opening our eyes is about embracing the journey with all its complexities. It involves letting go of preconceived notions and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. In this vulnerability lies the potential for profound transformation. As we learn to see our twin flame for who they truly are, not just as a partner, but as a catalyst for our growth, we begin to understand the deeper purpose of this extraordinary connection. One of the stages of the twin flames path is acceptance. Unfortunately, at first, it is very difficult for some people to even admit that they have a twin flame. They deny it, they struggle with it. The greater the struggle, the greater the suffering. Twin flame is nothing but trust and acceptance of wholeness. It means moving away from the detached ego, which is very strong at the stage of the first meeting. Only with time does understanding come. Acceptance in the twin flame journey is a multifaceted and often tumultuous process. It is a stage that demands courage, introspection, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. At its core, acceptance is about recognizing the reality of the connection, not as a fairy tale, but as a profound spiritual partnership that challenges us to grow. Initially, many individuals grapple with the idea of having a twin flame. The emotions can range from confusion to denial. This struggle often arises from the intensity of the connection, which can feel overwhelming. When we first meet our twin flame, we might experience a rush of emotions: excitement, fear, love, and even anger. These feelings can be so potent that they trigger deep-seated insecurities and past traumas, leading us to question our self-worth and the nature of our relationships. The journey toward acceptance often entails wrestling with the idea of separation. Many believe that true love should be easy and effortless, yet the twin flame experience frequently includes cycles of coming together and pulling apart. This push and pull dynamic can leave us feeling lost and disoriented. However, acceptance teaches us that these separations are not failures. They are essential for personal growth. Each time we are apart, we are given the space to reflect, heal, and gain clarity on our path. During this stage, it is crucial to cultivate self-love and compassion. Accepting ourselves, flaws, and all is a prerequisite for accepting our twin flame. We must learn to forgive ourselves for past mistakes and acknowledge our journey no matter how messy it may seem. This self-acceptance creates a solid foundation from which we can approach our twin with an open heart. As we navigate this stage, it is essential to practice patience. Acceptance is not an overnight achievement. It is a continuous process. There will be moments of clarity followed by setbacks, and that is perfectly normal. The key is to remain committed to the journey, to keep peeling back the layers and confronting the truths that arise. Ultimately, the stage of acceptance is a profound rite of passage. It marks the transition from confusion and denial to clarity and understanding. In embracing our twin flame as they are, and in accepting our own journey, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and belonging. This stage lays the groundwork for true union, not just between two souls, but within ourselves. It is here that we find the strength to love fully and unconditionally. Embracing the complexities of the twin flame experience as a testament to our growth. Think of yourself and your twin as one body. Now, think about how you can't forgive some part of your body or accept your leg. It sounds ridiculous, but this is how you should look at your twin flame. You are both part of a greater whole, where the cells of a given body multiply and interact. There is life and progress. If you isolate the cells from the whole, they will immediately begin to die and will not survive. If you do not accept your twin flame, you are rejecting it, as if you are not accepting yourself, some part of yourself. To view yourself and your twin as one is to acknowledge that this relationship goes beyond the surface level dynamics. typically associated with romantic partnerships. It's a spiritual, energetic bond that reflects a deeper reality about our existence. At its core, this perspective invites us to consider the nature of our identity. Just as a body comprises various parts that work harmoniously together, our individual selves and our twin flame represent two halves of a greater whole. This notion challenges the societal conditioning that often leads us to perceive ourselves as separate, isolated beings. When we embrace the idea that our twin is an integral part of ourselves, we begin to shift our understanding of love and connection. To truly embody this perspective, we must first confront the illusion of separation that permeates our lives. In moments of conflict or disagreement, it's easy to fall into the trap of us versus them. However, when we view our twin as an extension of ourselves, we can navigate these challenges with greater empathy and compassion. Instead of blaming or resenting our twin for their actions, we start to see their struggles as reflections of our own. This realization fosters a sense of responsibility. Our healing becomes intertwined with theirs. To view ourselves and our twin as one also involves embracing the dualities within the relationship. Light cannot exist without darkness. Joy cannot be fully appreciated without sorrow. This principle applies to our connection as well. Each twin flame embodies both the strengths and weaknesses of the partnership. By acknowledging this duality, we can cultivate acceptance of both the beautiful and challenging aspects of our bond. This acceptance fosters a deeper intimacy that transcends superficial love and digs into the essence of who we are. Moreover, when we view our twin as part of ourselves, we begin to understand that neglecting our well-being ultimately impacts the relationship. Nurturing ourselves, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, becomes a vital aspect of nurturing the connection. In this sense, self-care is not a selfish act. It is a necessary commitment to the wholeness of the relationship. As we integrate this understanding, we may also find ourselves more willing to forgive. Grudges and resentment become harder to sustain when we recognize that holding on to them only harms us both. Ultimately, viewing yourself and your twin as one is an invitation to embrace a holistic understanding of love. It challenges us to break down the barriers of individuality and embrace the interconnectedness of our souls. This unity is not about losing ourselves in another, but rather discovering the fullness of our being through the lens of this profound connection. In this realization lies the potential for transformative healing and deep, abiding love. A love that transcends time, space, and the very fabric of our existence. Now, let's consider who is better off using the body as an example. It seems that the leg that someone is trying to get rid of is in the worst position. It appears that the body that got rid of that leg is in a better situation. It can now live the life it wants. But even people who have lost limbs experience phantom pains. So even if someone cuts off a leg, gets rid of the problem, it doesn't mean that the pain will go away. On the contrary, the situation may worsen, even if the physical cause has disappeared. Because energetically, the foot still exists in the place where it once grew. The question, who is better, might initially seem superficial in the context of twin flames, yet it carries profound implications that warrant deep exploration. This inquiry invites us to reflect not only on the dynamics of our connection with our twin, but also on the broader implications of our individual journeys. It encourages us to dismantle the binaries of better and worse, and instead recognize the complexities inherent in our shared experiences. At first glance, it may appear that one twin is at a disadvantage, especially during times of struggle or conflict. We often compare ourselves to our twin, measuring our worth against their actions or decisions. This comparative mindset can lead us to believe that one is more enlightened, more whole, or more deserving of love than the other. However, this perspective is misleading and ultimately detrimental to the relationship. In truth, both twins are on parallel paths of growth, each experiencing their own unique set of challenges and triumphs. The idea of one being better than the other perpetuates the illusion of separation, fostering feelings of inadequacy or superiority. Instead of focusing on who might be in a better position, we must shift our gaze to the inherent value in both journeys. Each experience, whether marked by joy or sorrow, contributes to the evolution of the collective whole. The process of healing and growth is not linear. There will be moments when one twin shines brightly, embodying strength and clarity, while the other may grapple with shadows and uncertainty. These fluctuations are natural and serve a greater purpose. The twin who appears to be struggling often possesses valuable lessons to impart, while the one who seems more grounded may be called to explore their own vulnerabilities. Each stage of this journey provides opportunities for mutual learning and support, underscoring the importance of collaboration rather than competition. Moreover, the question of who is better can lead to a dangerous cycle of blame and guilt. If we frame our relationship through the lens of judgment, we risk creating an unhealthy dynamic that fosters resentment. Instead, we should strive to cultivate a mindset of compassion and understanding, recognizing that both twins are navigating their own complexities allows us to appreciate the richness of our connection. Accepting that neither twin is superior also invites us to embrace the beauty of imperfection. The flaws and challenges that each twin presents are not weaknesses, they are opportunities for growth and deeper connection. This acceptance paves the way for profound intimacy as we learn to love not just the polished aspects of our twin, but also the raw, unrefined parts that make them whole. Is it about forgiving a twin flame for everything, even their bad behavior? Number acceptance is about gathering energy, pulling yourself together. It's letting the foot hurt and letting us know what it hurts and what the problem really is before we want to cut it off so it can heal rather than harm the whole body. It's accepting even the things that don't feel good and realizing that everything we don't want to see in a twin may be true about ourselves. Acceptance within the context of a twin flame relationship is often misunderstood, leading to confusion about its true nature and significance. This stage is not simply about passive tolerance or resignation. It is an active, transformative process that requires us to engage deeply with our emotions, our twin, and ourselves. To truly understand what kind of acceptance we are striving for, we must explore its nuances and implications. At first glance, many might equate acceptance with forgiveness. We may think that to accept our twin flame means to overlook their shortcomings, to excuse their behavior, or to sweep our conflicts under the rug. However, this perspective diminishes the complexity of what true acceptance entails. It is not about turning a blind eye to pain or injustice. Rather, it is about embracing the totality of our experiences, both the light and the dark. True acceptance begins with acknowledging the reality of our feelings, both for ourselves and our twin. It involves recognizing our pain, our anger, and our disappointments without judgment. In this space of honesty, we learn to confront our emotions, allowing them to surface rather than suppressing them. This is crucial because only by facing our feelings can we begin to understand their origins and the lessons they carry. A significant aspect of this acceptance is the willingness to acknowledge that our twin is not perfect, just as we are not. Instead of idealizing them or expecting them to fulfill all our needs, we learn to see them as a fellow traveler on a shared path. This perspective allows us to approach our twin with empathy, understanding that their struggles often mirror our own. It's about recognizing that the qualities we find challenging in them may also exist within us, forcing us to confront our own shadow. As we navigate this stage, we may find that acceptance is not a destination but a continual practice. There will be times when we falter, when old wounds resurface, and when we struggle to embrace our twin fully. However, these challenges are part of the journey, teaching us resilience and deepening our understanding of love. By accepting ourselves and our twin as we are, we open the door to profound healing and transformation. This acceptance becomes the foundation upon which a healthier, more harmonious relationship can thrive. One that celebrates both our individual journeys and the sacred bond we share. If we want our twin to suffer, who are we really hurting if we are whole? If we want to impose conditions and compromises on our twin, who are we really imposing conditions and compromises on? We condition ourselves, we keep ourselves in suffering. Without acceptance, it is impossible to even free ourselves from twin flame. Bloody, sawing solutions cause immense pain and chaos. They certainly don't solve the problem. Only by accepting, embracing, and integrating both the good and the bad, light and darkness, can you deeply embrace your twin flame and liberate yourself from it by actually accepting it as a whole. Then it ceases to be a problem and a burden. As acceptance deepens, we may also find ourselves embracing a more profound sense of purpose within the relationship. The twin flame connection is often seen as a catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. When we accept our twin, we unlock the potential for this growth to flourish. We recognize that our journey together is not merely about romantic love, but about the profound lessons we learn from one another. Each interaction becomes an opportunity for self-discovery, urging us to explore our beliefs, values, and the aspects of ourselves that need healing. Before this happens, many twins have a long journey on the road to acceptance. This is the time to work through all the conflicts, disagreements, and denials within themselves. Without passing this stage, we will not enter the next. Some people stay in denial for a long time. The longer it lasts, the worse it gets. The journey to acceptance in the realm of twin flames is a winding path filled with both challenges and revelations. It is not a linear process, but rather a dynamic exploration that unfolds over time, marked by significant milestones and moments of profound insight. This journey invites us to delve deep into our emotional landscapes, confront our fears, and ultimately embrace the complexities of our connection. At the outset, the journey often begins with resistance. When we first encounter our twin flame, we may feel a whirlwind of emotions, intense attraction, fear of vulnerability, and overwhelming confusion. This initial reaction can lead to a tendency to deny the depth of the connection as we grapple with the magnitude of what it means to be linked to someone who reflects our own soul. Many of us instinctively retreat into our comfort zones, avoiding the necessary introspection that acceptance demands. As we progress, we encounter the inevitable conflicts that arise in such a charged relationship. These conflicts serve as catalysts for growth, forcing us to confront not only our twins' actions, but also our own responses. During this phase, we may find ourselves caught in cycles of blame and anger, struggling to articulate our feelings without projecting our insecurities onto our twin. This is a crucial turning point, the moment we recognize that our struggles stem from our own unresolved issues. We begin to pivot toward acceptance. Throughout this journey, patience becomes an invaluable ally. Acceptance is not something we can force. It unfolds gradually as we navigate our emotions and experiences. There will be setbacks along the way, days when the weight of past grievances feels insurmountable, or moments when the intensity of our emotions blinds us to the love that underpins our connection. However, with each step forward, we gain insight and clarity, drawing closer to a place of acceptance. The journey to acceptance also emphasizes the value of open communication. As we move through the emotional terrain of our connection, expressing our thoughts and feelings becomes crucial. Vulnerability breeds intimacy, and by sharing our experiences with one another, we create an atmosphere of trust and understanding. This open dialogue enables us to navigate conflicts with greater ease, transforming them into opportunities for deeper connection rather than division. Another pivotal aspect of this journey is the role of time. Acceptance cannot be rushed. It unfolds at its own pace. Each moment spent in reflection, every confrontation with our fears, contributes to our growth. We learn to honor the process, recognizing that every experience, whether painful or joyful, is a stepping stone toward greater acceptance. This patience allows us to appreciate the richness of our journey, understanding that the destination is not merely acceptance, but a deeper understanding of love itself. Ultimately, the journey to acceptance is a profound exploration of self and connection. It is a pilgrimage that invites us to unearth our truths, to face our shadows, and to emerge into the light of understanding. Each step we take brings us closer to a place of peace and wholeness, where we can embrace ourselves and our twin in their entirety.